Hey, it's Jack, no K, Jack in the Attic. I'm in a park shelter just outside Shoal Creek Living History Museum. It's I think it's Worldwide Knitting in Public Day. I'm working on the Peat Wrap by Witching Hour Knits. This is a test knit. I'm using my hand spun BFL 2-ply DK-ish yarn. This is my second hank of it wound up. And I just have to say, my first batch of yarn ended perfectly at the end of a row, so I'm very pleased with that. Sorry if it's a little echoey in here. I wanted to have some shade. It's pretty hot out today. This is actually the third park I've been to today. The first one was loud for crowd reasons. It is June 14th. The second one is just in between a highway and a busy road. Why I thought I could film there, I don't know. Birds are yelling today. So it's finally time to talk about the Fairy Chasm tank top knit along. I'm actually gonna scoot to the side so that I can put finished object pictures from participants on this side. Anyway, the Fairy Chasm tank top knit along. You may hear me clacking along as we talk. First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who participated. If you don't know, didn't see the video, we knit the Fairy Chasm tank top, also by Witching Hour Knits. We have a theme going today. I am, as you may know, a warm weather knitting enthusiast, I suppose. I think it is actually a myth that knitters put down the yarn, and fiber artists in general, just like don't make things for the warmer weather, just knit sweaters. I think that's a myth. Definitely some of those people exist, but I don't think I personally know any of them. But I do not tolerate the heat well. I am not a summer person at all. So if I have to exist in the heat, I may as well be wearing things that I make and I like to make. Is that a good enough justification? I'm just not gonna stop knitting for half the year. That's not in my plan. So the Fairy Chasm tank top had been on my list for a while. It was in my Goth Knitting Part 2 video. And I am wearing mine today. Mine turned out definitely bigger than I meant for it to be. It definitely has a lot of positive ease, but I think mine has a little bit too much positive ease. I actually used a sport weight yarn instead of a DK, but it is kind of thick for a sport weight. I was able to get gauge and then choose my size based on that. And I think I should have sized down. My swatch shrunk in the wash, but I did not account for the full weight of an entire garment stretching out the knit. So I took the swatch a little too literally, like I do, but I'm still happy with it. I have mostly been wearing mine as a pool cover-up situation. I've talked about this a little bit, but if I get out of the pool and I put on clothes that are going to cling to me, I feel really gross about it and I hate it. So this has been the perfect solution to that. The knit along participants had a really cool range of sizes and styling, and everyone seemed to knit at a different level of positive ease. Some people knit full-on fitted tank tops, which I think look really cool. I'm kind of questioning my choice to go with so much positive ease because I think those look great. There's nothing stopping me from knitting another one. Summer has not even started yet and I'm already suffering in the heat. We also had a really cool variety of colors. I loved seeing everyone tagging me in their works in progress, and even just as they picked out yarn, I would get tagged in pictures of yarn selections. That was so much fun to me. So overall, I think this went really well for a first knit along. As we talked about a little bit, wanted to keep it pretty low stakes, kind of low key, having never done a knit along before. I don't have any specific future plans for other make-alongs. I do have a buddy knit planned for later this summer with another fiber arts YouTuber, so I'm excited to share more about that later once things are like really finalized. I think they're pretty set, but still. You would not believe how much of this row I just did incorrectly because I was yapping, not paying attention. You'll notice that in all of the finished object screenshots, I'm making sure to include the username of the person who submitted it. I only included photos with really, really explicit permission to be included in this video. I didn't want to accidentally include anyone who didn't want to be in this video. That would be super uncomfy and not something I want to do to anyone. But all of the finished object photos that I was able to find, Instagram, God, I am now aware that I only receive notifications for like 50 to 60% of the posts I'm tagged in. So I was really going through the Fairy Chasm knit along hashtag more than anything. And I think those showed me everything. And there were also some submissions on Blue Sky. Those are the only two platforms other than YouTube I really use, Instagram and Blue Sky. So on Instagram, there is a story highlight that includes every finished object post on Instagram, obviously. And then on Blue Sky, I repost all of the finished objects. So you can find those there. They obviously link directly to the creator of the finished object, so definitely go check that out. So that's really all I have for you today. I just wanted to show some appreciation for the Knit Along participants and also celebrate Knitting in Public Day. I think I am gonna go into Shoal Creek and just walk around a little bit, so if you wanna see some historical buildings and or bison, stick around after the thing. You know, the thing. But before that, I will, of course, take the time to remind you to always rest and stretch and take care of your joints, but also go and live your best yarny life. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye.